no te fallaré. Contigo yo quiero envejecer. Quiero darte un beso, perder contigo mi tiempo, guardar tus secretos, cuidar tus momentos, abrazarte, esperarte, adorarte.
Out of the young mom in Oklahoma who aimed her gun at an intruder while she was on the phone with 911. 18-year-old Sarah McKinley says the operator told her she couldn't shoot until the man broke into her home, and the stunning moments that followed were all caught on tape. ABC's Ryan Owens has the story.
I wouldn't have done it, but it was my son. I had to protect him.
This young mother takes maternal instinct to a whole new level.
I walked over and got the 12 gauge. Went in the bedroom and got the pistol and put the bottle in his mouth, and then I called 911.
18-year-old Sarah McKinley killed a man, she says, to protect her 3-month-old baby.
I'm here by myself with my infant baby. Can I please get a dispatcher out here immediately?
Late on New Year's Eve, police say 2 men, one armed with a 12-inch hunting knife, were trying to break into her home outside Oklahoma City. McKinley recognized one of them as someone she thought was stalking her.
He was from door to door trying to bust in. They said I couldn't shoot him until he come in the door.
Are your doors locked? Yes, I've got 2 guns in my hand. Is it okay to shoot him if he comes in the store?
I can't tell you that you can do that, but you do what you have to do to protect your baby.
The teen mother killed the 24-year-old intruder the second he stepped inside. Police call the shooting justified.
You're allowed to shoot an unauthorized person that is in your home. The law
The biggest scam on planet Earth is a job. Because think about it, you work for 40 years, 8 hours a day, and after 40 years, you are still broke.
Ever since I started to make my peanut butter like this, I can't stop eating it. I have roasted peanuts. I'm going to put them in the oven at 180 Celsius for 5 minutes. This is going to help release the oils. Add them into your food processor and spill half of them like I did. Turn on your food processor, and when it starts to look like crumbs, turn it off and take a break. You don't want it to overheat and, well, break. Turn it back on again and it starts to clump together. Scrape down the sides, turn it back on again. Now add in a big pinch of salt. When it starts to look shiny, all the oils are being released. Try and resist the urge to eat it all now. Add a big tablespoon of red pepper flakes, a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and 2 tablespoons of honey and blitz till smooth. Spread on toast or bagels, or even add to your favourite noodles. And oh my, spicy peanut butter, you gotta try this.
The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music.
9 separate layers of plaster are applied to a thickness of 1/8 of an inch. Moulding takes about 6 hours, and a fine smooth surface is imparted to the world in miniature. Once the globe is set and dried, it passes to another department where the covering map is pasted on. Like restoring the skin to a peeled orange, the coloured printed sections exactly cover the surface. But the covering process calls for a keen eye and steady hand. A fraction of an inch out will put the world miles out of joint. The globes come in a large variety of sizes and purposes, from an inch in diameter to 6 feet, and ranging in price from 16 shillings to £1,000. Nearly 100 of the staff have been there for more than 30 years. While the rest of mankind does its best to blow the world up, they like building a new one.
wine can I drink in the street?
Yes and no.
Can I?
If you stay that's cool. That's okay.
Is it? But because I was.
If you are not drunk in French, that's cool.
But I think maybe I do this. But in this. What? I don't know.
Your bottle?
No, it's.
In 1932, as this woman got ready to cross from one side of Times Square to the other, thousands of New Yorkers gathered in the street to watch.
At last I found a safe way to cross Times Square.
The strongest type of magnets known today is the neodymium iron boron. These magnets have an incredibly strong magnetic field compared to their small size. Neodymium magnet are characterized by a magnetic field strength of up to 1.4 teslas, which is the highest known strength for permanent magnets. These
This is the story of a woman who created the circular saw. Tabitha Babbitt invented the circular saw in This is the story of a woman who created the circular saw. Tabitha Babbitt invented the circular saw in 1812. Tabitha was a weaver and a devout member of her community. One day, she watched a group of men struggle with a large two-man cross-cut saw, and she had this idea in her mind to create the circular saw. She crafted a wooden model of a circular saw. The circular saw had a simple yet ingenious design. She mounted a circular
I buried a pigeon in this garden bed here that I found on our back lawn. I'm not sure how it came to grief, but I buried him here about 18 months ago. And since then, I've grown a ton of onions in this very raised bed. Let's have a dig down and see if there's anything remaining of our old pigeon mate. All right, it was right here. There's nothing there. I could probably go all day. Found another grub. Yeah, nearly 2 years on, and I didn't really expect to find anything, to be honest. The worms and the microbes would have eaten him completely by now, and he's just turned into the surrounding soil. There might be the odd bone scattered around somewhere, but you know, I'm not going to go digging up a garden bed all day to try to find it.
Imagine a device that can float on top of water and generate power for 60,000 homes. This is what it is. It's called the Waveline Magnet, designed by Seawave Energy. It has been in development for over 10 years. So how does it work? The Waveline Magnet is made of super light floating platforms. It is linked by a spine-like power system. As a wave passes through the system, it follows the wave's movement.
I made a big vat of Orbeez in my backyard so I could melt Nordic gold and pour it in there. The Orbeez are mostly water, so when the metal hits it, it goes down in there and solidifies. The hot liquid metal reacted with the Orbeez and made a sizzling sound. Every time I pour metal into Orbeez, it makes a unique sculpture, and I couldn't wait to pull this one up out of there and see what it looked like. As I pulled the structure up out of the Orbeez, I quickly saw the bright, shiny gold that had formed. The hot liquid metal had flowed down around each of the watery spheres, forming this interesting design that looked a lot like coral. As I looked at it, I could see a lot of the Orbeez stuck in the metal, and I flipped it upside down and dumped a lot of the multicolored Orbeez out of the structure. People often ask, well, why don't the Orbeez burn up or melt? And my only answer to that is, the Orbeez are over 90% water, and water is a great heat sink for metal. What do y'all think of this golden sculpture?
Why does a train's engine need to be packed with sand? The sand is vital to boost the train's friction. When encountering an uphill journey, the train's traction alone is insufficient to progress on the smooth tracks. This is when the sand comes into play, efficiently heightening the friction between the wheel hub and the tracks.
All of its momentum, then the second one bounces off the wall, and then transfers all of its momentum back to the first, which then sails off towards infinity. 3 total clacks. What about if the first block was 100 times the mass of the second one? I promise I will explain to you all the relevant physics in due course. It's not entirely obvious how you would predict the dynamics here, but in the spirit of getting to the punchline, let's watch what happens. The second one will keep bouncing back and forth between the wall and the first block 100 times its mass, like a satisfying game of Breakout, slowly and discreetly redirecting that first block's momentum to point in the opposite direction. In total, there will be 31 collisions before each block is sliding off towards infinity, never to be touched again. What if the first block was 10,000 times the mass of the second one? In that case, there would be quite a few more clacks, all happening very rapidly at one point, adding up in all to 313 total collisions. Well, actually, hang on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, 314 clacks. If the first block was 1 million times the mass of the other, then again, with all of our crazy idealistic conditions,
This is why you don't want to touch this creature. Meet the electric eel, nature's most electrifying creature. Electric eels can produce 8 times more voltage of electricity than your household outlet, up to 860 volts, enough to take down a crocodile. Despite their name, electric eel isn't actually an eel. Instead, it's a type of fish, more closely related to catfish than true eels. They possess specialized disc-shaped cells, called electrocytes, which make up 80% of their body. and these electrocytes act as tiny batteries, allowing them to generate electric shocks. They use this power for hunting and self-defense, and when they encounter potential prey or threats, they emit strong electric pulses that can stun or immobilize their targets. This also enables the eels to sense their surroundings and even communicate with other eels in the murky depths of the Amazon rivers, where visibility is limited by emitting low-frequency electrical signals.
The quickest and coolest way to get a box of nails in order is to shake it. It takes less than 20 seconds of shaking to make this box nice and neat. You can already see the bottom nails straightening out. Even more interesting is that no one seems to have an explanation of why this happens. A common thought is that the video is reversed. You can shake a box of nails yourself to find out it works. But if for some reason you don't have a box of nails, Dr. Claire Nellis recreated this video, but cut a grape in half first to prove it wasn't reversed. Another hypothesis is that they're aligning themselves with the flow, like a log down a river. However, this effect still happens with a single nail. This mostly seems to be due to hitting the walls of the box.
Did you know that the British Library released more than 1 million images into the public domain, meaning they are free to use without any copyright restrictions in your personal and commercial work? These images were digitized from a collection of 65,000 books of the 17th, 18th and 19th century and have been arranged into themes such as book covers, illustrated letters, maps, flora, and children's book illustrations. They also have a section on decorative papers if you're looking for some interesting textures and patterns for your next project. These assets can be found on the British Library's Flickr page and can be easily downloaded by clicking the download button on each asset. So go check it out.
So really quick, I'm going to show you this, how the trees are fibers, and for some reason this shows the true color. A big chunk of this just fell off. See part of the grain. This is the way the fibers are right here. See? Hold on a second. And you see it's nothing but wood. Okay, so we're gonna go down over here and I'll show you a little more. Okay, see here, and at an angle. Okay, all this, everything.
This is a friend's Britannia, just going round. Beautiful engine. It's a bit greasy though, so we've got to keep the speed up so we don't come to a stand. We've got to give it the beans through here.
This is a love attack. I know when our body's back, it's just like any fat. It retracts before impact. And
Whoa, don't scold me, please. Thank you. I teach for session. Okay, make sure we pair. Okay, wait. This is B. Fall. This is S. Return. Alright. This is again. Spray. Okay. This is somber. My baby.
It is one of humanity's oldest rituals. How we lay our dead to rest has barely changed in millennia. But now a new technique is to be introduced to the UK. Resumation, or water cremation, is a process in which the dead are placed in a biodegradable pouch and put in a container filled with pressurized water and potassium hydroxide. In a 4-hour process, their remains are reduced to an ash-like white powder, which are returned to loved ones in an urn.
Although a lot of people don't know about resumation prior to us talking to them, 29% of them have said they would be interested in it. And we also spoke to a number of people who'd recently arranged
the way the bubbles flow out from the pot lid.
Polish dragon boat racing is a sport consisting of two opposing teams of 6 rowers attempting to row a dragon boat across a center line and is similar to tug of war. The two competing teams will each face one end of the boat and attempt to move the boat 3 feet in their direction from the center line. Oh, and then there's the fact that both teams are in the same boat. Anybody got a boat that we could use?
Well, we have over 10,000 of Dr. Royal's rise frequencies in this software. So you can literally type in, let's say, give me something.
Crohn's disease, yeah.
There we have several Crohn's disease frequencies right there.
Say people struggling with metal element issues or lung issues or asthma, grief.
Lung issues, there we have many frequencies with lungs and respiration right there.
Fantastic.
So literally you can just
Ancient Ethiopia is absolutely covered in fractal antennas. Fractal antennas are utilized in some of the world's most advanced technology. These antennas leverage intricate geometric patterns to enhance the transmission and reception of electromagnetic waves. If we were to take an array of fractal antennas and surround a quartz crystal and pulse frequencies into this array using a signal generator, we can generate frequencies well above the terahertz range. Quartz crystal is a piezoelectric material, meaning it can generate an electric charge when subjected to mechanical stress or pressure. Conversely, when an electric charge is applied to quartz, it undergoes mechanical deformation. These deformations occur at a frequency range of almost 90 million hertz. Many of these ancient crosses used to contain various gemstones and quartz crystals. What did the ancient Ethiopians know?
Here's the difference between Western and Indian music. You can think of Western music like a staircase. So when you sing the scales going up and down, it's kind of like you're stepping up and stepping down. So we use the major scale as an example. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.